Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa if you are new here. Your favorite problematic housewife. Today we're going to be talking about Katie Joy. I just kind of want to have a chat about Katie Joy, the anti-Katie Joy community, and kind of the controversy and drama and, commentary that surrounds Katie Joy. I want to have a conversation. I want to talk about, is everybody obsessed with Katie Joy? Do they have a good reason to be? Are people overly critical of Katie Joy with nitpicking? Also, do people go too far with Katie Joy? I kind of want to have a chat about that because I've been seeing kind of a mixed bag lately. There's kind of a group of people who I'm actually very friendly and friends with some people who are on the side of everyone's too obsessed. If you don't like Katie Joy, don't watch her. Why does everyone care so much? Why are people building a channel based off of Katie Joy? And then you have the other side where it's like Katie Joy is problematic. She needs to be talked about. People need to know about her nasty behavior because new people come along. She gets new subscribers. She gets herself into new situations, like with the Dre McRae, and she acts a fool. She doxes people. She does a lot of bad things. And I am friendly and friends with people on both sides of the equation. And everybody's kind of in the same community, but there's kind of two sides I've noticed brewing lately. And it's the people who think it's just too much. People are obsessed. And then, like I said, the people who think she needs to be talked about. And then there's the kind of underlying issue that I always see where sometimes people go too far, which I have talked about before on my channel. Like with bringing up her son, her marriage, her parenting, her son's diagnosis, her SA report, things like that. That has been a issue for a very long time in the anti-Katie Joy community. So we're going to get into all of that. And obviously, as we go, I want to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments. I love talking to you guys. And yeah, I just want to have a chat because I've been observing and looking lately. And I do see that more and more people are kind of going to the side of, oh, this is too much. People are too obsessed. Blah, 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 like that. So I find it very interesting. Now, if you guys don't know, I actually did a video a while ago, maybe a year ago, on the anti-KJ community. I wasn't really a part of it. I was kind of just watching, but I noticed a lot of crazy stuff happening towards Katie Joy when it came to her son. People were trying to call CPS and saying she was, abusing him, and the husband was abusing the child, SA, and beating him, and there was audio that people were messing with, and her parenting has always been put into question. And I kind of did a video expressing my feelings on that part of it. While I thought Katie Joy was problematic, I enjoyed her reality TV content, and I didn't agree with people going too far, which that is a trend kind of in anti-communities, if you will. A lot of times people get so hyped up and wound up in what they are upset about. People end up taking things too far, which I don't agree with. There's things that have been done to Katie Joy that I 100% do not agree with. Like I said, bringing up her child's diagnosis, her marriage, her parenting, her SA, anything to do with her personal life and things like that. I am against that, whether I like Katie Joy or not. I am against doing those things to Katie Joy. And some people get upset when you call that stuff out and when you speak out against it because so many people hate Katie Joy. I think there is a tendency for things to get crazy and out of control when there is, a kind of anti-community based on a problematic person. Actually, a channel called Jada Take just did a really good video on anti-communities and how they are kind of cult-like. And she made a lot of really good points. So I will leave that channel down below. She does a lot of commentary and opinion videos if you want to go subscribe to her. But when I did that video, I got so much crap. I The video did really well for the size of my channel at the time, and I was like really surprised. But I got a lot of flack. I got a lot of people coming to my comments under that video, and they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're wrong. Do your research. Like, every comment was, do your research. You don't know what you're talking about. Katie's done this. Katie's done that. She has, hurt all these people. She's doxing. She's doing this and doing that. And I was trying to explain to people, I understand that. I never took that away from anybody, what she did. All I was saying is things are getting out of control with the Going Real Life and doxing her and all this stuff. So sometimes I feel like people are not able to separate their anger and hatred for somebody with, something that's just not right and they're going too far. It's hard for people to kind of see clearly, if you will, sometimes when something awful is being done to somebody who they do not like and think is a horrible person and problematic. But still, no matter what Katie Joy has done, those things are not right. And I do not agree with people bringing those things up and using that in their commentary. There are plenty of things to talk about when it comes to Katie Joy and her content and what she's doing. And just because she's doxing people, just recently, she was doxing Molly Golightly and sharing her mugshot and criminal record. She's constantly talking about Charlotte on the web, constantly calling her a felon and just saying awful things about her and just dragging her, lying on her. She recently just said Charlotte on the web, said Katie Joy was a part of the Deaf Noodles lawsuit, which never happened. Katie Joy will just make shit up to play victim. So I understand that, but there's a couple of reasons why you don't want to go and sink to her level. One, the main reason being, it's not right. It's not right. You don't want to become the person that you hate. I'm going to put hate in air quotes because hate is a strong word. I don't think anybody should hate Katie Joy because she's an internet person, public figure. Nobody really knows her. You can talk about her problematic behavior and stuff without actually personally hating her. And if you personally hate Katie Joy because she's done something to you personally, I can understand that. I can understand if you have an issue with someone who has personally done something horrible to you, right? But just not liking her because of general things on YouTube and her problematic behavior, that's not healthy for anybody. But you don't want to be that person. You do not want to become the person that you are going against and calling out, because then you are no better, okay? It's just not right. Another reason why I don't think people should go there is because Katie Joy is a professional victim. No matter what you say about her, she will play victim. And all of the things that have been done to her that were actually wrong, she will use that to defend herself against all the valid criticism, if that makes sense. So you can call her out for doxing Molly and Charlotte on the web and going after LB and Renelle and all of these people, but she will turn around and say, I've been stalked for all this time. I've been doxed, my son, CPS, I've been swatted, all of these things. So when people do those things to her, you are giving her ammo to play victim even more and deflect and finger point away from the things that she has done, if that makes sense. She's going to play victim either way, but if nobody had done any of these horrible things that were crossing the line, she would not have that to deflect with. If Katie Joy had not one thing that was done to her that was below the belt and crossing the line and just going way too far, she would not have that to use against everybody. Her whole anti-community is just nasty, right? And everybody gets lumped into one. When I know there are commentary channels, like Charlotte on the web and people like that who don't take things too far. And I have never been the biggest fan of anti-Katie Joy channels. You know what I mean? But in general, I just never have. I'm not really that big of a fan of that because of the whole drama and controversy around Katie Joy and how things were always taken too far. But I actually enjoy Charlotte on the Web's channel. And even though she does a lot of Katie Joy content, I feel like she does it in a way that isn't bullying her, is not going too far. She just reacts to her content, and people want to see it. There's a place for it on YouTube. People want to keep up with what Katie's doing because Katie is involved with new people every day. There will be a new story after this Dre McCray one where she's in with another group of people and causing chaos and havoc and going too far and going after people. And there will be people like Charlotte to talk about it. Tia Simone also talks about Katie Joy a lot, but she does also sprinkle in true crime. She's talked about other people. So there is channels that I do think have a place on YouTube and can do very well. Any channel that I mention in this video will be linked down below so you guys can check them out and subscribe if you want to. Now there's some that I have seen that just go way too far, like I was saying, and just bring up, they're just nasty and they're too much. But I don't necessarily think that every person and channel should just be lumped into one. And I used to feel that way. Trust me, I get it. You know, like, oh, the whole anti-KJ community is just crazy and psycho and all this stuff, which there are a lot of people that are crazy and go too far, but there are good people in there. I have met a lot of good people in the anti-KJ community. You know what I mean? So my thoughts on that have changed a little bit because I've just met people here and there from watching and being, you know, surrounded by a lot of creators and people in that community. I don't think it's fair for the people who don't go too far, who aren't nasty, to kind of be lumped in with the people who do go too far and are nasty. So, while I understand that a lot of people nitpick Katie Joy to death, you know, I think it's dumb when they're out her hair and just ridiculous stuff like that. I just don't agree with that in any community. I talk a lot about that in the mommy vlogger community, where I feel like some commentary channels just nitpick the hell out of a lot of the moms. And I do feel like that happens with Katie Joy. But I do think that Katie Joy's behavior needs to be talked about, and it does sometimes, because she does a lot of nasty, nasty things. And I can't blame people for wanting to talk about that. And she is doing new things every day, like I said. I didn't cover her very much until the Dre McCray situation. And, you know, my channel is never going to be all about Katie Joy. Like I said, I enjoy a few channels that do cover a lot more Katie Joy because I get to keep up with what's going on, and I appreciate that from like Charlotte on the Web, you know what I mean? Because it's hard to just watch everything all the time. If I see something that piques my interest, I'm like, oh, what's going on? That's just not my channel because I'm all over the place. My channel, I know a lot of you guys do like Katie Joy stuff, but a lot of you like, you know, other stuff too, which same here. I like to be all over the place and talk about all kinds of different things and people. But she does so much shit. Like, whenever she is involved in a big story is when Katie Joy is at her worst. Like, when nothing's going on, I do think sometimes people kind of nitpick and are just making, you know, content out of everything because nothing much is happening, so they kind of have to like pick apart everything. That happens with every community where people are covering like one thing. It happens in Krama with Natasha Cooper, happens in the mommy vlogger community. It's like creators need the constant content, and unfortunately when people need content, they're going to start like pulling things every which way as much as they can to get enough content to give to their audience, which is why sometimes it can seem like bullying, nitpicking, and stuff like that. And I do think it matters how you're doing it. what way you're doing it. If you're doing a video every single day on one person and you're just going low, you are ripping apart their house, their parenting, like Miss Radiant Brit, who is just so nasty and hateful. That to me is when it becomes a problem. But if you're just reacting to content, even if it's frequently, I don't necessarily have a problem with that, because you're just talking about this person's video, what they're doing. You're not being too nasty. You know what I mean? I know some people think differently about that. All of this is just my opinion. Obviously, I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you think? Like, when do you think it turns to bullying? What is too much for you? What do you think people are trying to get out of this content? And that's another thing that I want to touch on. The channel called The Magician's Manor, I will leave their channel down below too. They do a lot of commentary and stuff. I agree with a lot of what they say. Love a lot of the content. So, I will link them down below. They made a really good point in one of their Katie Joy videos where he said, manage like your expectations. What are you trying to get out of talking about Katie Joy? Because you need to understand that she's never going to take accountability. So if you're expecting that, you're going to be disappointed, you're going to be mad. But if you're just trying to bring awareness and kind of tell new people and kind of just show the behavior, that's a completely different thing, and that's understandable. But Katie Joy is never going to take accountability. And I think that is where some people get to the point where it's like, okay, what's the point? She's never going to change. No matter what you call her out for, no matter what evidence you present, no matter which way you do it, whether it's nice, whether it's nasty, whether you're just sticking to the facts and showing receipts, Katie Joy is never going to change. I have seen her finger point and deflect and avoid actually addressing issues and just call everybody a liar hundreds of times at this point. So a lot of people feel like, well, why are you still doing this? This is getting old. This is getting nowhere. It's like, what is the end game here? And I do understand that, because I do wonder that with a lot of different situations. I am, thinking and saying, like, what is the end goal here? When will this end? Will this never end? Are people just going to continue talking about this person till the end of time? And that is another thing that I kind of go back and forth with, and it kind of depends on the situation, in my opinion. If there's like problematic behavior, but it's not really like dangerous, or they're not doxing people and actually bringing up criminal history and stuff like that, then I'm like, okay, like, do people really need to keep dragging this on just because they don't like somebody's content or whatever? But then, if they're doing something that's really nasty, I do understand talking about it. But then at the same time, I also get, because there's so many commentary channels, sometimes it starts to look like bullying and dogpiling when you have so many channels talking about one person. And we're all drama and commentary channels, and we all want to give our opinion. That's just the way it goes, and everybody should be able to give their opinion on a situation that's happening. But sometimes it can look like ganging up on somebody, because there are so many commentary channels that will be talking about something. So it's really hard, and it's like a fine line between just giving commentary, bullying, dogpiling, ganging up on somebody. Like, just, it can be a fine line. And I was actually thinking about it tonight when I got the idea for this video. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, sometimes it's not necessarily anybody's fault when something, when a situation happens and everyone's talking about it. It's not necessarily anyone's fault when it starts to look like ganging up and dogpiling, because you have this channel that wants to share their opinion, someone else might have another opinion, and then you have all of these channels who want to talk about it. And you can't really say, well, only 5 people can talk about the situation. You know what I mean? So it's not really anybody's fault. And, like, there was a situation going on with Deaf Noodles, and like everybody was talking about it, and it started to look like kind of like ganging up on him, but he is doing problematic things. So I understand that, and it's not anybody's fault. Why, like, because they want to talk about it. Like, everybody has a right to share their opinion. You know what I mean? So it's kind of tricky with that, because my first instinct usually is to kind of like help the underdog, go for the underdog. I don't like when people are being dogpiled and ganged up on, or when it comes off that way. I just don't like it. But at the same time, I do get that everybody has a right to share their opinion on things on YouTube that are public. So I kind of go back and forth with that sometimes. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. This is kind of just like a random video idea I had where I just want to chat and share some of my thoughts when it comes to like commentary with Katie Joy, and kind of in general, no matter who it's about, because like these same things and these same themes will come up. It's like, is it nitpicking? Is it bullying? Is it ganging up? Is it, is it okay to keep talking about it? How much is too much? And stuff like that. And some people, of course, go too far. Like everything that happens on YouTube, when there's a group of people talking about something, there's always those 1 or 2, 3 bad apples that go too far, give everyone who's covering the situation a bad name and making it look bad. And I just notice these same sort of themes time and time again when it comes to commentary on a person's situation or drama. And then there's always the issue of what should be talked about and what shouldn't be talked about. And everybody's going to feel differently about that. Everyone's going to feel differently about what's going too far. But I feel like in so many of these situations, whether it's Katie Joy, Natasha Cooper, All In with Ari, whenever you have a polarizing, problematic person on YouTube, somehow, some way or another, somebody goes digging and personal things get brought up about this person. Then every commentary channel then has to decide, is this something I want to talk about on my channel? Some people are under the thought that, well, it's already out there. People have already exposed it. So I think it's okay to talk about it. And then some people are like, no, that's just too far. I tend to lean more towards, like, even if it's something that got exposed publicly, if it's something super personal, I don't always feel comfortable talking about it on my channel, even when it's already been exposed 5 times. Like the stuff with Ari and her child and her custody case. I didn't really want to get too much into that on my channel, even though obviously it's already out there and exposed. I just think there's some things that just shouldn't be talked about. And that's just my opinion. Other people might feel differently, and that's totally okay. And like I was saying earlier in the video, a lot of personal stuff about Katie Joy was being brought up, like about her kid, the diagnosis, things that Katie Joy has shared on her channel about her personal life, her essay and all this stuff, and I just don't want to talk about it. Now, I'm not perfect. In the past, I have most definitely gone too far. 100% have. I don't know if all of you know this, but I know a lot of my older subscribers do. I used to be a troll. I say I was a troll because if somebody was harassing people or being a bully, kind of like a Katie Joy type, I would go after them hard. There was no line I wouldn't cross. I thought, give them 10 times worse than what they're doing to other people. I was wanted to be like the internet vigilante over here, getting justice for all the people who were harassed and bullied and wronged by this nasty person. And I believed that they should get it hard. If you're going to be nasty and dox people and harass people and bully people and just be a nasty scumbag, I was 100%, I'm coming for you. I am going to give it to you a million times worse. But I don't think that way anymore. And I have tried to change that about myself. And like I said, I'm not perfect at all. I pop off, I clap back. I go, get a little bit feisty sometimes, and maybe I'll just, call somebody a fucking bitch. And but I try not to, talk about people's looks, parenting, their body, stuff like that. I really try not to do that. I never really was the type of person to bring that kind of stuff into it. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I've called somebody an ugly bitch before when I was pissed, which is not okay. But now, the way that I do things on my channel, I try my best to just stick to YouTube content because I don't want to become the person that I'm talking about. I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to be a better person and kind of just talk about and have a conversation about and bring awareness to the problematic things happening without taking it too far. And I have learned that over the years being on the internet. And again, I'm not perfect, but I know this video is kind of like talking about a lot of different things here, but this is what happened when, it's really late. I get these ideas. I want to chat. I just start firing things off that's in my brain. So I hope you guys enjoy this type of video of kind of just like talking about a main issue and thing that's going on YouTube in general of things that I see. Give this video a thumbs up if you do like it. So yeah. I just kind of wanted to get into all these different things that I've been thinking about when it comes to Katie Joy and other situations. As commentary channels, it's like there's always this thing where you have to think like, am I going too far? Am I being too nasty? Am I crossing the line? You know what I mean? I think we all could like sit back every now and again and be like, okay, am I helping anything or am I making it worse? What is my end game? Am I trying to like get accountability? It's like, well, who is really able to get accountability? Like, who has the right to demand accountability for things in the first place? Because none of us are perfect. We all have a past. We have all done things that we are not proud of. So it's like, is anybody really up to the task? Like, none of us are Jesus Christ. So I don't really like to say that I'm demanding accountability or trying to get somebody to be accountable. I more just want to share my opinion and talk about something that's happening or something somebody's doing. I'm never going to demand accountability from anybody because I am not God. I am not like Zeus or whatever, thing that you worship, the sky, the universe, the stars, whatever it is. I don't have that right to demand accountability from anybody. But we all can share on our opinion on things going on. So, to wrap this up and kind of bring this to a close, do I think people are overly obsessed with Katie Joy? Yes and no. Yes, I do think there are some people that are quote unquote obsessed and just look for everything wrong that she's doing no matter what. They can't admit that she might be right about something. Like, that is going into kind of obsessed territory. If you can't even acknowledge that somebody has been done wrong or they might be right about something because you were so angry and pissed off at them, that is not healthy, right? But if you are just talking about someone's behavior on a consistent basis and just having a conversation about the behaviors and the things happening on YouTube from this person or that person, but you're not really personally invested in somebody that you don't know or has never done anything personally to you. You just want to talk about it and share your opinion because we're all watching YouTube all the time, especially like commentary channels. So I don't think that's obsessed. I don't think people should be automatically labeled obsessed just because they talk about something a lot. I think there's just a lot of like nuance and different factors that go into, is this obsessed and bullying and just like, are you crazy acting like psychotic behavior? You know what I'm saying? But I don't necessarily think it's fair to say like nobody should ever be talking about Katie Joy ever again, because that's just not realistic. That's not going to happen. There's always going to be eyes on Katie Joy now because of how bad she is and how long she has been doing these awful things like doxing and lying and just being extremely nasty and vindictive to people. There will always be eyes on Katie Joy and what she's doing because of that. And there's always going to be people talking about her. So at the end of the day, as long as they are not crossing the line, going too far, going into real life, being really low and nasty and talking about looks, personal life, parenting, marriage, stuff like that, then you can't really get mad at a person as long as they're not doing those things, right? So you can have your opinion and say like, yeah, I think maybe things are nitpicking or whatever, but you can't really get mad at somebody for reacting to somebody's content, right? It just depends on the situation, the person, what the person is doing. Like, I don't think there's this whole thing with cancel culture before I go. And I don't like when someone is just being hounded and dogpiled and ganged up on for small things, or maybe the punishment doesn't fit the crime because, everybody's just ganging up on them. And that's why I was saying earlier, I kind of go back and forth with, is this ganging up or is everyone just sharing their different opinions that they have a right to share? It's tricky, and I kind of lean both ways sometimes depending on the situation, and that's okay. It is okay to change your mind. Is it okay? Sorry, I can't freaking talk. I'm getting tired. It is okay to look at everything on a situational basis. In fact, I think that is a good thing to do. I don't think people should just always live in these absolutes where you feel one way no matter what the situation, no matter what is going on, you feel a certain way. I think it's better to look at every situation by itself for what it is. Some people give me crap for that sometimes, and they don't really like it. You'll get called a flip-flopper, or you're not making sense, or people have said to me, why are you have this opinion for this situation, but then now for this one, your opinion's completely different. And I'm like, it's because I look at every situation individually. If I think something on this situation about this person, that's my opinion on that. And I could have a completely different opinion on another situation where similar things are happening, but maybe there's a few different details here and there that make me feel the way that I do. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And in fact, I appreciate people in channels who are able to look at things for what they are individually and not just be like, I'm always like this. I always feel like you shouldn't talk about this person 500 times. You shouldn't talk about that person 100 times. Now, there are certain things, like I said, that I don't agree with, personal life stuff. It's pretty hard to change my mind on that. But again, every situation is different. So I do go into it with an open mind. I'm like, okay, why is this being brought up? Is there something relevant that should be talked about, even though normally I don't think that it should be? Sometimes that is the case. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this whole thing. I love having conversations with you guys in the comments. I don't care if you disagree with me. Plenty of people come to my comments and disagree with me, and we have a conversation about it. Just don't be a dick, you know what I mean? And we'll be cool. This is my third video that I'm recording today. I'm very proud of myself. So this video is going to be going up first, actually, and then I have 2 more videos coming. One on the Glairer and Ryan Upchurch, and then I also have another video coming about influencers becoming drama channels. I thought that was a really interesting topic too, so look out for those. Make sure your notifications are on. If you want to donate to my channel, I will put my Cash App right here. Also, I do have memberships if you want to join just to support me. It's more of just an extra thing to support my channel because I appreciate you guys so much when you do that. I just can't always give the most extras like other people do because it's hard enough for me to get content out. But I do appreciate the people who just want to support my channel by joining memberships. And yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. All the support, watching my videos, commenting, liking. I appreciate it more than you know. I love doing YouTube so much. I love sharing my opinion. I got a big mouth. As most of you know. So yeah, I will see you guys in the comments to talk about your thoughts on this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Oh, also, I'm back real quick to give me a little bit of promo on my second channel. I have another channel called The Hot Mess Mom, where I post vlogs, mom content, other fun stuff like that that is not drama and commentary. I will leave that channel down below. It's The Hot Mess Mom if you guys want to follow me and know more about my life. Okay, bye.